before we begin, I think I would like to address the elephant in the room, which is a question that all of you are going to ask anyway. And if I don't say it, somebody is going to ask it. I know somebody from Proton already said he wanted to ask the question. Yes, thank you so much, Hafiz. But yes, you guys were going to ask the question, and to be fair, all of you, or most of you, have already commented on social media. When we shared the videos, the engine of the car does not sound like the 1.5 turbocharged engine that you find in the Proton S70 road car. Well, the reason why it doesn't sound like the same engine is because it is not the same engine. And again, the reason why we're not using that engine is also very simple. It is because the M touring car class regulations do not allow the use of forced induction. It has to be a normally aspirated engine between 1.4 and 1.6 liters. So we're not using the turbocharged engine from the Proton S70 road car. Secondly, a lot of you have opined and given your opinions and said that sounds like a Campro engine. Well, the answer is yes. That is the Campro engine that was developed by Proton for racing. Why have we done that? Why haven't we used the 1.5 turbo engine and removed the turbo and used that instead? Well, the 1.5 engine was designed to be used with a turbo. It is not used in competition. If we wanted to use it for competition, it would take a lot of time and expense to develop it for racing. The rules also allow us to use an engine from the same manufacturer in the car. This is nothing new. Lots of manufacturers use different engines that are not based on the same road car in competition. Even in WRC, for instance, some teams use a car with a different engine than the road car. It is all within the rules. So that is why we do not use the 1.5 turbo engine and why we are using the Campro engine. It is a proven engine, it is a race-winning engine, it has proven reliability in the S1K, so it made sense for us to use it for the car this year. Okay? So yes, that has hopefully addressed all your concerns and queries about that. So now, let's open the floor to some other questions. Yes, Mr. Gokul.
Hi, good evening. Gokul from bigwheels.my. Two questions. First one is, how will the car look? Will it feature the same graphics as the old yellow and all that, or can we expect a new design? That is my first question. Second question, I'm curious about the selection of drivers, because now one car has two senior drivers and one car has two junior drivers. Why not mix and match one senior and one junior? I'm just curious if there is a secret behind the...
Okay,
thank you.
Fair question, fair question. I think for the livery question, it's okay, I can answer the paint scheme question. So for how the car will look like with the race livery, Gokul, we are going to use the livery that we showed on the show car during the Malaysia Auto Show at MyApps earlier this year. So obviously the show car was not a racing car, that was a road car, which was slightly modified. But the paint scheme, the color scheme that we used for the event is the one that we're going to use on the racing cars. So that's the color scheme that we are going to use. I think for driver selection, Haji Uthman nak beri jawapan tak? Macam mana kita pilih atau nak saya jawabkan? Oh, okay. Dia memang pemalu dan memang, you must to be humble, so it's okay. Anyway, when it comes to driver selection, you have a fair question. Why not a mix of experience and youth? There are many different things that go into the selection process for the drivers. Aside from all the drivers being chosen on merit based on their skill as well, we also have to make sure that the drivers are physically a match for each other, as well as driving styles, which are also close to each other. So if you look at in terms of sizing and weight, which Alistair pointed out earlier, him and Arif don't really weigh that much different. They're almost equivalent in terms of weight. So you want to get a consistent level of performance from your racing car. So that's why we have paired them together. But that is actually a very fair question. Why not mix and match? Why not youth and experience? But yeah. Okay, can I have another question, please? Yes, Mr. Tariq.
Saya ada soalan untuk Tuan Haji Osman.
So,
Tadi Faisal komplain malu, so saya pecahkan malu dia.
Okay.
Encik Osman, masa buat development untuk S70 ni, adaptasi engine tempo ni, lama tak proses dia, dan lepas first shakedown, banyak isu tak? Atau smooth sailing?
Okay, dalam development untuk memasukkan enjin tempo ke S70 ni, basically kita tak mengambil masa yang lama sebab kita ada support daripada pihak R&D dan juga pihak GD juga. Kita mendapatkan semua data-data chassis dan juga data engine yang kita untuk matchkan dengan S70 chassis ni lah. Jadi kita tak mengambil begitu banyak masa lah untuk menyiapkannya. Yang keduanya, biasalah untuk kereta yang baru mesti ada isu. Tapi isu tu is not a critical issue lah. Dan kita sedang mengimprovekan lagi lah apa yang kita jumpa masa kita buat shakedown tadi lah. So far, generally the car is pretty well. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih, Haji Osman. Thank you so much, Tariq. Hafiz, you have a question?
Hello, I've got a few questions. First things first, how is the S70 as a basis for a race car? Is it a good base? I'm sure you say it will, but can you give even more comments on how you turn this car into a race car? Number two, how much does it weigh now? How much weight have you taken out of the car? And lastly, since one of the drivers only has 1 year of driving on the road, will one of the cars have a P sticker?
Maybe I can answer that one. On the track, you don't need to have that P sticker, so it's okay. But I don't know if you still got P sticker on the road car.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the road, yeah, I still need to have this P sticker. But on the racetrack, he does not need to have this P sticker. So, good question. Tapi maybe Encik Haji Osman boleh jawab soalan Hafiz.
Lupa apa yang tadi?
What was the first question again, Hafiz?
How good is the S70 as a basis for a race car?
Okay. The base car is very good because the car is wider and longer. It's good for the car handling because kalau kereta tu wider is more planted. And then what we testing after the last weekend, the car is pretty good and I think the best handling car so far what we have compared than Saga, because Saga is narrow, this one is wider. And other else, quite quick also on the straight because of the aero. Yeah, it's a less drag. Then number 2 is what?
The berat.
Okay, the weight of the car is around 1,000 plus. It's I think a bit heavy because we're focusing on the engine mount to the chassis. Then we not focusing more on the lightening the car. But basically, I think after this we do it for the lightening of the car.
Maybe you can also tell our audience what is the minimum weight for.
The minimum weight for the MTC is around 1,000 kilo. I think we can achieve close to 1,000 kilo. Yeah, we're working on it.
All right. Thank you so much, Hafiz. Anybody want to ask the drivers about their experience about driving the road class? They have driven the road class recently. And Encik Aiman, soalan Encik Aiman.
Hi, thank you. I'm Abdullah from Racing Coaching. My question goes specifically to Mr. Arif Azmi. Now, I know that you have quite a bit of experience in another vehicle which has spent a lot of time on the track, and we know that that chassis has been optimized somewhat for motorsports applications. Given that the S70 was largely adapted for the S1K, in your experience, how does this car feel out on the road, and in terms of the suspension geometry and so on, does it translate well as a race car?
So yeah, driving the S70 on the road has been great. It's really comfortable, sometimes a bit too comfortable. I don't realize what speed I'm going. But yeah, I think it'll be a great basis for a race car. The front's really pointy, it's got a long wheelbase and it's quite wide as well. So grip levels will definitely be there, I think. So yeah, I think it'll be great. Just can't wait to have a go at our own track.
Thank you, Arif. Thank you, Aiman. You have any questions for Mr. Lee Chuan? Because obviously R3 isn't just into racing, but we also have a commercial side to the business. You can see our engine oils over there as well, which we sell at selected dealerships. And of course, we've got merch, the shirt, which looks like pajamas. But yeah. Sorry, I think Tariq first and then Aiman. Okay, Tariq.
Okay, Mr. Lee, I have two questions. First one, for now it's very clear the project is very skewed for one event and one event only, S1K. But moving forward, are you guys looking into pursuing the MCS next year, or maybe a full season or not? And second question, good question about the merge. Can we expect something to translate out of this into the road car anytime soon?
For this year, because we are entering with a new car, considering last few years we have been using Proton, the current PICE model. So this is a new challenge to us. So our main aim is to focus fully on this year, make sure we try our best to bring the best car to the track, and hopefully we can win it. And then we will decide on the next plan. So as for other road car, right, the second question.
I think the question was, will any of the parts eventually find its way on the S70 road car? Am I correct?
Yeah, at least sport suspension, wheels, tires, something. Maybe a upgrade package.
Of course, this is always our aim for R3 to bring our on-track performance parts into our race car, especially our limited edition. So definitely there will be plans, but it's a work in progress at the moment.
So yeah, to be revealed at a later date. Thank you. Aiman, you had another question? No? Okay. All right. Yes, Encik Shamsul, man with the camera.
Hello, since you guys have taken it on Sepang track, right?
Belum lagi,
Oh,
on the road.
lagi ya? Tadi ada gambar tadi video on the track.
Itu hero kita
Oh,
yang buat.
okay. Aku nak tanya lap time tak ada soalan lah.
The benchmark, any laps that we took, any timing that we took, was not with the race drivers yet. It's with the Team Proton R3 team members. And while Haji Uthman is a very, very capable driver and capable of scaring the crap out of all of us on the car, I don't think it's fair to use his lap time to compare it with what these three young men will be able to do. So, nanti, as we get a little bit closer, we will publish some of these for you guys. Okay? Sorry, there was another question. Yes.
Okay,
Farid.
okay. Soalan untuk Cik Farizal. Dia partner dengan Syafiq. Syafiq pun rasanya dah 2-3 tahun tak race kot. So macam mana nak kick start untuk dua-dua orang ni untuk race ni. Okay, satu lagi soalan pasal MCS juga tadi. Ada kemungkinan tak R3 untuk buat kereta lumba MCS tapi untuk kategori TP? That mean boleh pakai enjin 1.5 turbo tu macam Honda Racing Team punya Civic FC sebelum ni.
So dari segi preparation, saya sendiri saya masih racing. So for I took a year off last year, but this year we are back on MSF, and kita baru habis a good warm-up event on 99 laps at MSF, and alhamdulillah we got first. And Shafiq is also doing his own preparation. I'm sure it's just like riding a bicycle. He's very familiar with the car, sangat familiar with the car, so it's just a matter of time. I think we have enough preparation. We have test days in early November, right up to the race weekend.
Just for everybody's information, Sepang right now is closed for testing because obviously they're getting ready for MotoGP, which is at the end of this month. I think for the second question, Haji Osman?
Untuk next year, kalau untuk pengetahuan semua, next year maybe Sepang akan keluarkan new regulation untuk MCS. Tapi untuk TP kita tak mungkin fokus untuk TP sebab fokus kita mungkin kita akan fokus ke SP2 dengan S70. Hopefully semua akan jalan dengan baik. Kita akan fokus MCS untuk SP2 untuk tahun depan lah. Itu yang kita tengah work out sekarang.
Okay, terima kasih. Fadil ada lagi.
Okay, saya tarik apa pasal SP2 tu.
So that mean akan pakai engine original S70 ke ataupun pakai Cambro juga? Okey, kalau buat pengetahuan semua juga, kalau kita gunakan apa yang ada sekarang, kita tak boleh enter SP2. Maksudnya kita akan menggunakan engine asal S70 lah.
Okay. Alright. Let's have another one or two questions. If anybody does. Kau bagi lancar orang lain. Ada tak orang lain nak tanya soalan? Ada? Yes? Okay.
Itu cermin instead guna itu glass ataupun ada tukar ke itu acrylic.
Basically is a glass. It's a glass.
You're talking about the windscreen kan? Cermin depan dengan cermin tepi juga.
All door and rear is a glass. It's not acrylic or perspex. Yeah. That's why we told you we work out on the lightening the car after we complete everything. Yeah.
So ladies and gentlemen, as you know, there's never enough time in racing. Everybody is always up against the gun, and you know the guys have been working literally non-stop to develop this car, and it's still a work in progress. So there's still some things to be done for the race. Okay, I think the last question for the official Q&A session, as I mentioned earlier, the drivers, Haji Osman, the team members will be available for further questions should we have it after this, because then we've got to get ready for our live stream as well. So who wants the final question? If not, it's going to go to Tariq and we're going to hear his voice again. So, ada tak lagi soalan? Okay. Brave soul.
So the question's for Alistair. Congrats on your drive as well, and we're more familiar with you in a Formula car. So what are your preparations moving forward into the MTC, having it be your first time in the car as well? So.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. Obviously, this last year I've been in prototypes and single-seaters. But driving-wise, it's not too different. Obviously, front-wheel drives and touring cars have slightly different finesse of getting the last little bit of lap time out. But I think all drivers should be able to jump between cars no matter what. And I'm just looking forward to prove myself in MTC because it's really been something on my goal list for a long time now.
Okay, Tariq, you can have one.
This one for Alistair. I want him to earn his salary. So.
Okay.
Hey, Alistair. I believe this is your first time driving in a works driver capacity for Proton. Am I right?
Yeah, pretty magical. I mean, me and Arif as well. We were driving together last year in S1K, and having such a big jump, and the honor of representing Proton, it's pretty special and exciting, and yeah, it's just really looking forward to getting into the car.
How does it feel to be backed by a homegrown works team?
Yeah, it feels amazing. Also to get that recognition from people of such high regard in Malaysian motorsports as well. It's incredible.